Hey guys, okay, I'm finally back with an update as to how everything's been going on my journey of trying to relocate into the islands. So I just returned from my trip to Maui. I was there for 9 days and I had two objectives while I was there. So the first objective was to see how it went with me working remotely. The second objective was to look for housing and to see if that was realistic. So I decided when I was going to go there that I didn't really have any expectations. I just wanted to, I booked 12 days in Maui in a condo. And I figured that by that point I would have some resolution as to which direction I needed to go. And if I didn't find anything and things didn't work out and work was calling me home, I would just come home. So I was real flexible and low on my expectations for what I thought might happen. So here's what happened. I arrived on a Monday, and last minute, I had a girlfriend that decided to go with me, so that actually turned out to be really great. I warned her ahead of time, I'm gonna be working, just so you know, so it might not be too much fun for you if I'm busy working. So, it turned out really good. She was really patient with me. We flew into Maui, we picked up a car, and we headed right over to Costco, got a few items, and then went and checked into our condo. So I had a 1-bedroom, 1-bath with a pull-out couch, and she was a trooper. She slept on the couch, but said it was comfy. I asked her every morning, "Are you sure you're okay?" And she said, "Yeah." So she was just happy to be away, and she was great. So we did a lot. I worked during the day quite a bit, but then in the afternoon, we were able to get out to the beach, get out and have a meal, enjoy the sunset, watch the whales. It was really great. So we were able to do quite a bit while we were there, although I was working remotely and had quite a bit of stuff going on, some conference calls, some Skype messages, and all kinds of things going on with work during the day. My work day was able to wrap up because of the time difference, by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I was able to, at that time, usually check out for the rest of the day. And my girlfriend and I went and had a great time. We did quite a bit. So Friday night, we went to a luau, and that was great. That was at one of the resorts in Wailea. It was beautiful. I mean, it's so beautiful. And we were able to watch the sunset behind the palm trees as the luau began. And it was great. The food was wonderful. We really had a great time. And then went back home, and the next day we had planned to go whale watching. So that was really cool. That was just a few minutes from our condo. It was called Blue Water Rafting, I believe is what that one was called. And it was great. So there was probably about 20 of us in a small boat raft, which was kind of nice because we were really on the water. We weren't really high up in one of these big yachts. You were really right there and on the water. And so we went out into I guess the harbor area, or just a couple miles off the shore. And sure enough, we saw whales, and we got to see a couple of them breach, that's kind of what everyone's going for, to watch the whales breach, where they come up out of the water and do a big dive. And it was neat. It was really, really neat. I got that on video, so I'll put that in here. And then let's see. Sunday, we went to Hana. And we went all the way around the island. So that trip is really an all-day thing. We were pretty exhausted by the time we got finished with that, but it was totally worth it. So I don't know that I'll be doing that trip often, but maybe when people come to visit me when I'm there, then I'll do that trip. So when we got back from the whale watching on Saturday morning, I had sent a couple of emails out to a couple of possibles that I'd found on Craigslist. I was kind of watching over a couple different websites, Zillow and Craigslist, and I grabbed some classified ads from the area. And whenever we'd go get coffee or I had some free time, I was looking to see what was available. Again, with no expectations. I thought, if I find something this trip, great. I also still had the possibility of going over to Kona to see my aunt, and to check out the Big Island and see if maybe that was a possible place that I would like to live. So I still was really kind of open-minded to all of that. On Saturday morning, I sent an email to someone who posted an ad that looked like maybe it was perfect for me. In the ad, it said, furnished Ohana, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. It had really adorable pictures. And in the phrasing, it said, this unit is perfect for someone who's just moving to the island. And I thought, this could be good. So I sent an email. I included a little bit of information about myself. I included my phone number, and I sent it off again with no expectations because I had not gotten a lot of responses from a lot of the other emails I had sent while I was off island. So I thought, we'll see what happens. 30 minutes later, an 808 area code number comes across my phone, and I thought, ooh, who's calling me here? So I answered it, and sure enough, it was the Ohana that said it was perfect for someone just moving to the island, fully furnished. So I got the address, we drove by, the neighborhood was great, and it looked like it was perfect. So I sent him a message back. We went back, it was about 5 minutes from our condo, so it was really close. We drove back home. I talked to him a little bit more, said it looks really nice from the outside. He said, I want you to meet the people who live in the main house. So about, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours later when they returned, we went by, and it was so nice to have my girlfriend with me to be kind of a voice, just kind of observing this, and for me to get her opinion on how she felt about all this stuff. So a little while later, we went back, and I met the couple that lives in the main house. So an ohana is like a guest house. So there's generally why they call it an ohana. Obviously, it's a Hawaiian term, but it's common in that in the islands, it's like a mother-in-law quarters or a separate. So it's detached from the main house, but it is very close. So you're very close. We share the same driveway. So I met them. We literally sat and talked for an hour and a half. This couple they seemed wonderful. They're just, I'll tell you a little bit more about them down the line, but, my girlfriend and I left there, and we just looked at each other, and she was like, I think this is it. And I said, I think it is too. And so I had a day or so, I let the owner know, it sounds great. I'm totally interested. And basically, while I was there, I made a verbal commitment. He's looking for a 6-month minimum commitment. I made the commitment and started the process of getting him all my documentation. And then I got home. I decided to fly home a couple days early. Things were a little hectic with work. I just felt like I needed to get home and kind of finish this process if this is what I was going to go ahead and do. My girlfriend and I talked it out, and she said, if you think about the whole perspective of life, 6 months is 6 months. It's not that long. It's an adventure that I can I'll learn a lot about myself. And, if in a couple of months I feel like it's not the right thing, then I'll move to a different island, or just kind of have the same attitude that I did when I went to Maui, without a lot of expectations. Just put one foot in front of the other and just do it. And that it just, having that attitude just seems to be, I don't know, everything just seems to be lining up. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've had some fears. This is a little scary for me still, because I have a house here in California. So trying to figure out the last week or so that I've been back, like, what do I want to do? How do I want to handle this? It's kind of expensive to maintain 2 houses, and is that really realistic for me to think about that or not? So there's been a lot going on, and I decided last night that I think the best thing for me to do for now is to move out of this house, give up this space here, and I think I'm gonna just commit to living in Maui for 6 months. So I'm really excited about that, and it's gonna be an adventure, and I'm gonna take you guys along with me, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I have a bunch more videos and pictures from my trip. I'll create another video about that, and so you guys can take a look at that. We saw turtles on the beach, like 50 turtles all at one time, and it's just, there's so much, and I think I'll be really happy and have a great time for 6 months at the very minimum. Who knows what's going to happen in that period of time and what decisions I'll be making in that period of time, but I'm really excited to be taking this adventure, and so I'll keep you guys posted. I have about 10 days left here in California before I have to go back there. So I'll be back there at the beginning of February, and I'll be taking occupancy. I've signed the lease, I've sent in the lease money, the deposit, and it's mine as of the beginning of February. So I will be taking you guys along with me and exploring, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. Finally hit me today because I'm nervous about all of this. It's one of the biggest things that I've done. And for myself, I've done a lot business-wise, but to move out of this area, I can't wait. I mean, I just feel like the craziness in California is just continuing to get crazier. And people, it's just like going to the Maui and then coming back home, you realize the difference in people, and priorities are just totally different here than they are there. And I feel like within me, those priorities are changing, and I really need this time for myself to really get to my core and figure out what's important to me in my life, and be in the warmth. It's been so cold here this last couple of weeks, and rainy, stormy, and I'm just looking forward to the beaches and the sunsets and the people and the space and the calm nature. And I'll look forward to bringing you guys along with me. So I'll be talking with you soon, and take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah.